For this particular demo, I'm going to create a table named 3IAM data types, and here I have used all the data types, and at least most of the data types that are there in Redshift. So in the first one I have varchar, order ID, then package weight, which is small int, quantity is integer, small int is int2, quantity is int4, then I have price, which is decimal 62, product ID is character, product name is again varchar10, product description is text, order date is date, delivery date is timestamp, and product delivered yes or no is boolean. I have not used timestamp with time zone, so it will be more or less similar. Just I wanted to show you how these data types work. So let me go ahead and create this table. Notice that I'm not mentioning any schema, so it will be created in the public schema, right? So it will not be created in the 3IMDB's retail schema. So it will be created in public schema. So public schema has one table, which is 3IAM data types, and retail has 5 tables that we created some time back, 6 tables rather. So these are the 6 tables in retail schema, but in this case I'm using public schema. Now I'll go back to RSQL and we'll do all these SQL operations from RSQL. I'm inside of the data engineering on AWS Redshift cluster, and I have logged in as admin, and I am in the dev database. So let me connect to 3IAM database, and now as you can see I'm on this particular cluster admin user, and I am connected to 3IAM database. Let's see the schemas. So I have public schema and retail schema, and if I list the tables, so it will show me the tables in the public schema. It will not show me the tables of retail schema because I have not told you about search path. So let me tell you how search path works. So search path actually sets the default schema. So this is the command set search path to retail, and now what will happen is the schema that I'm working on has changed, which is basically the retail schema. So if I type show search path, it will tell me that my current search path is retail, and if I type d now /d, it is showing me all the tables of the retail schema, not public schema. And right now I'll be working with public schema, so let me change the search path to public. Okay, so now here I have only one table. Sorry, I have only one table, which is 3IAM data types, and if I expand, I want to see the expansion of this table. It is telling me that these are the columns: order ID, package weight, etc., and these are the data types. So what I'll do now, first let me insert one record, so or one or more records, and after inserting those records we'll do some operations on those. So I have inserted the first row, and these are the values. If you see, the order ID is 1 2 3 ABC, then package, quantity, etc., and I'll insert a few more values and then voice it over. Now before going there, so I have shown you that I had created the table with product description as text. Now this is the query. If you see, the product description was created as text, but here it got converted to varchar 256, and that's what happens behind the scenes. And all these are case sensitive, by the way. So let me insert a few more values and then I'll come back and show you the operations. Now in this particular insertion, if you notice that I have inserted null value in the delivery date and the boolean is false. So I have inserted 3 records. Let me run a select star and see all the 3 records. These are the three records. I'll reduce the, so I have reduced the font a little bit, and let me run it again. So these are the 3 records, if you see. So I have order ID, package weight, quantity, price, product ID, so on and so forth. First thing, let's talk about the numeric data type. So we have package weight as numeric data type, quantity as numeric data type, and that's all, I guess. So what you can do with numeric data types, of course, we can actually run computations with numeric data types. For example, let's say I do a select I can run package weight into 3. So what it is doing the calculation. So 50 into 3, 60 into 3, and 120 into 3. So as you can see, I have got the column. Of course, I have not mentioned any column name. So I can mention that package ID 3 as inflated weight, and it will show me that the weight is inflated weight. So this is a computation. I can do a division also. For example, if I divide it by 3, it will show me the division. So again, it is doing some division behind the scenes. It is showing me 16, 20 and 40 because it is not showing me any decimal places. The reason is because it is integer. Okay, so that is one computation. Of course, you can do divisions, you can do additions also. Let's say you want to add multiple package types, you want to add a certain number to the package weight. So let's say add 30 to each of the package weights. Then of course it will get the weight and add 30 to it and then give us the number. So some computation that you can do with numeric numbers, and it can be done with decimals also. So let's say price into 2.25, which is I can rename it as profit or as sold at. So this is the output. So it fetched the values, did some multiplication, and then it is showing us the computed output. So we can do this with integer values. For character types, we cannot do any computation as such, but we can, let's say, convert it from character to varchar or something else. Again, we will not do it right now. So one thing is cast. So I want to show you that how you can change the data type, right? So I'll remove everything and I'll mention that I want to see only two decimal places. So what I do is that I cast it as decimal, let's say 8 comma 2. So meaning that my before decimal it will show me 6 digits, and after decimal it will show me 2 digits, and if I press enter it should show me 2 digits only now. So this is changing the data type to something else. I can change it to integer also, but in that case it will not show me the decimal places. So if I, let's say, make it as integer, it will not show me the decimal places, it will show me the multiplication. It has not done any roundup also, so remember that it will not do that. So cast is basically changing the data type during runtime. So let's say you have one data type and you want to see the output in a different data type, you can use cast in that case. Now, a few other things I want to show you that if I select order ID, product ID, and product name, so if you see the order IDs are same in all the cases, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Product ID is different, but order ID is same. Now, let me go back to the definition. So in the definition, I had mentioned order ID as the primary key. So if you see here, the primary key is order ID. And what is the definition of primary key? Primary key definition is that it can contain one or more columns which can uniquely identify a single row. Now in this case, it is not identifying a single row. So if I select, let's say, do a select star where order ID equal to 1, 2, 3 and ABC, it will fetch me 3 rows. So it is not uniquely identifying a single row. What it means is that, as I said earlier, Redshift does not enforce or impose the primary key. It is used for explain plan, it is used for query optimizer, but it does not enforce that. So this is one more thing that I wanted to show you. Okay, a few more things. While I was showing you the data type slide, there was a range available for small int. So small int, integer, big int, etc. So for small int, it was from -32768 to +32767. So what I'll do is that I'll try to insert a value which is higher than that. Let's see what happens. Again, this is the data type. So quantity is package weight is small int. So I'll insert a value which is less than -32768 and which is greater than +32767. So let's see what happens. And the behavior would be similar for int and big int also. So I'm trying to insert 32770 in small int. So if you see the error, it says small int out of range. And if I, let's say, type 768, it should allow me. sorry, if I try 32767, it should allow me. So the record is getting inserted now. So as you can see, if you are out of range, if you provide out of range values, you'll get error like small int out of range, and it is true for copy commands also. So let's say you have a file, you have defined a table whose data type does not match with the data in the file. So in that case, you'll get error like this. Now what I'll do is that I will try to insert a value which is less than minus 32768. So let's say 32800. And now it is giving me again the error that small int is out of range. But if I, let's say, mention 32600, it should allow me, because obviously it is within minus 32768. Let's do a select star from 3IAM data types table. These are the values that have been inserted, and in the package weight I have 32767 and 32 minus 32600. And this behavior, as I said, would be similar to that of integer and big int as well. Let's do the same with decimal. Now what we have defined, we have defined that the price should be decimal 42, meaning so before the decimal point we should have 4 digits, and after the decimal point we should have 2 digits only. Okay, so let me insert some values. So the order ID, package quantity, and then the price. So let's insert 12,000.75. Now it is giving error of numeric data overflow because it is going beyond the precision. So 12,000 does not fall within 6 2, so it has become 7,2. But it will not be true for the other end. So what will happen in the other end, it will get truncated. So I'm inserting 2000.752, and let me do a select star, and it has inserted 2000.75. So after decimal, if you provide higher values, let's say 99999, what would happen is that it has inserted the value. Again, it has rounded up to 2000.76. But the same thing is not true if we provide a value which is greater than the allocated numbers before the decimal point. So in this case, it is 4. So if I'm mentioning 12,000 or anything else for that matter, it will give error. Let's try to do the same with character and varchar. So I'll insert some values. So let's say product ID is char 4. Now I'll be inserting char more than 4, which is 5. Similarly, product name is 10 characters. I will insert value with more than 10 characters. So I think this is more than 10, I guess. So now if I press enter, obviously it is showing value is too long for type character. So it is giving error for the character data type, and similarly it will give me error. So if I fix the, let's say, the character data type, in this case I'll remove E, now it will give me error that value is too long for character varying 10. Of course, if I remove it, if I fix it, then I'll be able to insert this particular value. So these are the errors. I know that these are very trivial things, but you can get these errors when you do hands-on. So remember these things. Now let me try to insert into the Boolean field which we had created, that is product delivered. Now let's say you want to only insert to a particular column. You can mention order ID, the field that you need, and then values. So in our case, we have to enter order ID because this is the primary key. So now let's enter the values. So 555 EEE, and instead of true or false, I'll mention how, I'll put it in quotes, otherwise it is taking as column. It's giving error that it is an invalid input syntax for Boolean type. Now of course, if I change it to, let's say, true or false, so let's say mention false, it will not give any error and it will insert the value. So this is another error for Boolean data type. Now this is how the operations happen. So this is how you run DML statements in using various data types, and these are the ways you can use those data types in Redshift. Now let's go to the next section where we'll do some table operations.